Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
The next panel is about it's about pure spirituality. Again, it will be moderated by Vasant.
Welcome everyone again. Hope you had time to have some nice breakfast.
Yes, Vasant.
Lovely. Welcome, Talbot.
Welcome.
Nishika is online. Welcome, Nishika.
Hey.
We are just waiting for Dr. Jitendra Acharya. Yes, he is online as well. Hello, doctor. And Devan should be joining us in a few minutes. So let's begin. So welcome everyone, all the speakers. This session again is on pure spirituality. And I hope you all had breakfast and you're feeling good. I really enjoyed the puri bhaji which Floyd ordered. Okay, so let's begin with our first Dr. Jitendra Acharya. It was lovely speaking to you, sir, yesterday. With 45 years of experience, he has worked at the big center of India, which is called Urli Kanchan, which was founded by Mahatma Gandhi. He has this innate connect with nature. In his few words that he was speaking, I could sense so much of nature. So he was saying that we as human beings have language, but the real language is when you are truly with nature. And that's his walk and that's his talk, because he has been associated with naturopathy for all these years. And he says true spirituality is always connecting back to our nature in that sense. Nature, the gateway to spirituality. So with that small introduction, I welcome Dr. Acharya. Over to you. Thank you.
Dr. Arya, hi, this is Floyd here.
Sorry, Dr. Arya.
If you could place your camera horizontal, it will be good for our recording and editing team. If you could place it horizontal, that will make it easier.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. This looks perfect, and you are looking very bright today. So we are looking forward to hear from you. We are live on YouTube to all our audiences of the World United, and we are glad to have you. Very nice to see you as always. Please go ahead with your talk.
Please unmute yourself, Dr. Arya.
Are you listening me? Yes, sir.
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you. Yes. So, friends of the Association of Spiritual Awakening, since last 45 years, I have been observing the human physical ailments, and I have been treating with nature cure, with yogic science, and with mind medicine. While observing patients, the nature of their body, their mind, even my own body and mind, the nature of elements, 5 basic elements, the earth, the water, ether, fire. I have observed there is a harmony with your atom and the atoms of the nature. You are individual. You think you are individual, but you are indivisible. We are part of whole universe. Every vibes connect with universal vibes. And this whole dancing of vibrations of your being and the cosmic being, if you have tuning with that, you will be free from disease, desires, and you will enter to the true spirituality. Let me add one thing. We have born spiritually, we are born with all spirituality, we are born with all potentiality. I should narrate that we have born with super conscious mind, super mind. But with the worldly imposition of mind and matter and emotions and thoughts and so many imposition on tiny child's brain has made him unspiritual, material, or you can say later on that ugly part of human beings, or you can say we have disconnected ourselves from the human beings. So basically, we need to go back to our roots, and we need to de-learning ourselves. We need to clean all the thoughts, all the superimposed emotions, the garbage of karmas, the garbage of thoughts, and to clean all these corners of our being. We need to be more with nature, with plants, with trees, with animals also. And we need to learn from them the language of spontaneity, the language of present tense, and the language of non-action. Because we are so much having faith on action from our mind, from our body. And when you are so much into action, you are with ego and all materials. So to enter in the area of non-action, we need to learn how to observe nature and how to observe our mind or our body itself, even body also. If you observe your body, You will be surprised, you will be shocked that every moment there is a change in your body. Every moment, every second. So that would teach us the anitya bhav, the infinity. And ultimately, what is spirituality? We need to learn the anitya bhava, the infinity of life and of everything. So, friends, we need to detox our being. Nowadays, one word is very much common because patients are coming with me, Sir, we have come to detox our body. We have come to you to clean our bowels, our body. Good. That's not bad beginning. But basically, we need to detox our being. And to detox our being, we need to learn the no mind activities. Thoughtless. We need to enter in the thoughtless area. We need to observe even our thoughts. Every moment we have to, in today's language, if I say, we have to programming ourselves for art and science of observation, along with mauna, along with silence. So this silence and observation, I have observed, it is master key to learn nature of your being and nature of the universe. And once you culture this type of yourself, culture this habit, automatically all spiritual journey would start. Because if you put effort so much, I want to be spiritual, again your effort would come along with your ego and lot many theories would come. Then you will again mesmerize with multiple theories, which theories would take you to faster way towards spirituality and which theory would be better. And then sometimes you enter in very, I should say, the achievement of spiritual mileage. And again, you are into that race, the achievement, achievement to hold my breathing for this minute, achievement to have some where I have got light in my third eyes or blue light and certain lights. So friends, all these things are basically, it's very dramatic. It comes and go. It's not actually achievement. It's a kind of drama of again your mind and your being and your thoughts and your whatever you have perceived. Basically, if you have good acceptance, if you have deep understanding of forgiveness and forgetfulness, if you communicate with every human beings, communicate with plants, with flowers, with visible, invisible situations, you are spiritual, you are entering, you are entered towards that area. So be very simple, be very clear. Our legs should be on ground, and we should not create some another hypothesis of spiritual science. We should make it more acceptable, understandable, and easily one can practice and one can get benefit of it. And once we are at mass level, we will all work all together. Then definitely on ground reality also you will see the results of it. Today, what is happening? The whole world, particularly human mind, has become totally fragmented, totally ruthless, totally, away from feelings, away from sensitivity, away from, simplicity. And this ruthlessness should really is very matter of worry. It's matter of concern for whole universe. So when we are with being a very uh, intellectual and very highly, one of the best creature of the God, we believe, and it is we are human beings. So our contribution should be very high, but time has come. We compel to learn from the plants and animals, because with ugly mind we have reached towards so much materialistic, world, and so much ruthlessness, lack of sensitivity, and so much comparison and competition. And we have made life, our life, human beings' life also very horrible and ugly. And we are also imposing the life of planets also at higher risk. So if we will learn, we will enter into spirituality. I think first we all would be unite and would be held blessed and love to each other, and that would directly affect to the nature, and then nature would be again blessed to us. So friends, I don't want to use so many words and so much
Thank you.
wisdom
Thank
to
you, Dr.
teach.
Arya.
I think this is what my message. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to our chairman. Thanks to Mr. Floyd and Vasant and everybody. Namaskar.
This is
Namaskar.
a certificate of a gesture from us to Dr. Jitendra Arya. Thank you so much, sir, for your wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Such a
Thank you.
beautiful way of
Thank you.
expressing that through nature we can really connect to your true self. And I love the fact that you said that we think we are individuals, but in reality we are indivisible, connected to everything. I think that will remain with all of us. So thank you so much.
Can we check if Dr. Arya is still around? Okay, I think Dr. Arya has left. So Vasant,
Is
you'll
left.
have to inform them that they have to stay back for the panel discussion after their talk. And
I had
we'll,
informed him, but probably just
or
forgot about it.
maybe his internet has gone off. So I'll inform him to join us for the panel discussion. It will be interesting to talk with all the speakers. And this is not a platform. Let's remind all the speakers. Let's come to the primary goal, that this is not a platform for giving speeches. Because there are many other beautiful platforms like TEDx and all, who I'm sure will do a much better job than us in disseminating speeches and things like that. So this is a platform where we want the speakers to come together, share their views, create a camaraderie so that we can form councils. eventually of conscious people, councils of conscious people all over the world. If there are 135 people at country level, if there are 135 people at state level, they are going to drive this initiative of consciousness. So that is what we are looking forward, and that has been the vision of many great masters, not only one person. It's been the vision of many great masters to create these kind of, it is sort of a parallel spiritual governance, because we have government for managing all the material affairs, but we really don't have a government for managing the spiritual affairs. And we do not have something which takes representation from all the different spiritual paths. Yeah. So let's not treat this as a talk or a speech, but let's connect with each other. This is an opportunity. This is an excuse, you can say, to connect with each other and go ahead with forming these kind of panels. I request Vasant to go ahead and introduce the next speaker.
Thank you, Floyd. Dr. Arya. We have our next speaker, Nishika Gomes, with us. I spoke to her yesterday, and such an amazing profile. I may not be able to say everything about you, Nishika, but she is a creative director with her own company of 43 people that she's facilitating. She has done, and the company is called PPE Wellness Services Private Limited. She's been a marketing professional and IT professional for 23 years, a certified tennis coach, and two-time bronze medal winner at the national under seniors representing Goa. So amazing. What a great achievement. So big round of applause for you. At the same time, when I spoke about spirituality, she said, my own self-discovery, myself, connecting back to my own self is very, very, it's my priority. And at the same time, she said, I connect with nature. I'm a pet lover. And that's how I see spirituality in most simple ways. And I could truly connect to that. So let's welcome Nishika, where she's going to talk about self-discovery through her own sadhana. Very happy to have you, Nishika. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Vasant. Am I audible? Okay. I have to apologize in advance. There are a lot of weddings going on where I stay, so there'll be a lot of background noise.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. So, and you might hear a barking dog as well. I just start off by saying that should I mute this because it's really loud? Is it okay if I mute it for some time?
What you want to mute? Sorry.
The drums in near my house are very loud.
I mean, I was a little confused because I actually can't hear much, so that's why I was confused.
Vasant, it's still going on. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so let's have the next speaker, and then Nishika can.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to Nishika later. So our third speaker for today. Now the second speaker is Mr. Talbot Frank. Hello, Talbot. A spiritual person that I know and is a dear friend. Very, very grateful to connect to him. He's on his spiritual path right from his childhood. Spirituality has really touched him through and all the events that has happened in his life has really freed him. There have been certain conditioning that we all go through, and Talbot has experienced a sense of freedom in him, and that's why he's feeling so empowered to share it with others and to touch that essence with others. As I said, he's been a seeker from his early life. He's one of the person which I can tell. Albert has not told this to me, but he's a person who can really be empty and hold your hand, not literally, but in his heart, and listen to you. And I think that's a unique quality, and that's a beautiful quality everybody can get inspiration from. A person with a great diction of words and very articulate. I don't want to, I can keep going talking about him, but let's stop there. And he's going to take us on a topic which is for him relationship in a win-win paradigm is the topic. As a person, I know that, relationships, how to hold relationships, how to strengthen them. I'm learning from him every day. So with that, lots of love, Talbot. Over to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Vasant. I hope I do justice. Okay. Well, all I can say is that it's a beautiful journey. My life has been a beautiful journey with a lot of pain, but from a lot of pain comes a lot of understanding. So in that sense, suffering is something very beautiful, something positive. It's in acceptance of that we be able to transmute it, no? So in my years of all these years of living spirituality, I have reached this point of understanding that relationships is the key to our happiness in the family, with colleagues, with workers, with everybody I connect, because I am in relationship. And in this deep relationship with the other, relationship with the other is relationship with myself. Finally, everything is in relationship. All this leads to just one, the connect with the divine. This is oneness. To understand the nuances of relationships, I have made a flow so that we can connect to it. We can see how it connects to my life. So each one look into your life and see the practicality. Others, we can talk a lot of beautiful things and it fizzles off. So it should be able to connect. So I made a flow. As for me, this is the most important aspect of life. Living means relationship, and relationship means living. We are all related. Love is the greatest feeling of all. And that is why we go out and get it from another. Love completes us, fulfills us, as we are deeply connected to one another. But due to our egos, this reality is obscured and we struggle in a love-hate relationship. So when we experience a oneness with the other in relationships, it is very deeply satisfying because we connect to the present moment. This is our intrinsic reality and truth. We all would remember moments like this. I mean, just think of the time when you meet a loved one. We forget everything, including time. And we say, my God, yeah, how fast time flies. I didn't realize the time. And that's why we actually want to go and gather, go for parties, try to meet more people. We feel something inside us burns. I'm sure you will have many experiences. Relationships become our conduit or a way to experience this oneness. Oneness as being in the present moment exposes the games and manipulations of our ego. The basic need to being loved drives all relationships. Relationships break down because we cannot respond adequately. Adequate here would mean to respond in a manner appropriately to meet and validate the needs of the other, which in turn will definitely be reciprocated by them in time. Our happiness comes from within us. If we depend on the other to make us happy, we will be disappointed. It's like you walk with somebody holding hands, but you are walking on one leg and she's walking on one leg, or he's walking on one leg. Both will trot and fall. We need to find our true selves by dropping our fearful egos. In finding ourselves, we touch and experience our deep inner truths and come in contact with the divine. we will find that we have love, we have joy, we have peace, and all these attributes within us. It's not outside of us, it's already there. When we are present, meaning when we are in the present moment, we become aware and connect deeply and are able to pick up the cues from the universe. You will see the connect when you are stuck, say, you don't know, I mean, you're stuck with something, you're on a project and you don't know what to do. And suddenly somebody out of the blue calls you up and talks to you something similar. And how did this happen? Or you receive a WhatsApp message that is exactly what you needed that day. So many times a message will come that motivates you. And that's exactly, it's as though the universe is telling you, Talbot, this is for you for today. Or you were confused about text and then you click YouTube and your topic is on top. I can go on and on. There are no coincidences in life. There is this connect and this hand that is there with you. Our very existence on the planet requires interaction on all levels. We are negotiating all the time to meet our needs. But how we negotiate will be the factor that decides mutual well-being and happiness. Say, for example, you are in a misunderstanding and you are explaining your point of view to the other. This negotiating, especially with the ones closest to us, your tone and how we say it will decide whether the other feels respected and so will accept it or not. It's a very simple thing, but just your tone. Or somebody on the phone, you tick the person off just because your tone is off. The other person doesn't feel loved. When we behave, keeping the other's needs paramount, the other will reciprocate in such a way that they respect, trust, and love us. This makes us feel powerful. We neither need to manipulate nor want anyone to fear us. This is the paradigm shift of win-win. So when we look at the other, we keep the other as paramount and keep ourselves behind, then the other really loves and trusts us and respects us. That changes everything. Otherwise, we use our relationships just to manipulate for my needs. With your wife, with your children, with your neighbor, with your friend, with your cousin. We are just manipulating each other just to get my needs met. So let's walk together and see practically how this can be done. The way we relate with each other is a learned behavior. When we look back, we will see that our history of the planet has been male dominated and in an egocentric manner to plunder, make wars, to forcibly take over kingdoms by killing mercilessly. Today, it is the same with domination. By leaders to control, push down regulations, to subjugate and forcibly take control of people by unjust laws, or just doing what they want to do, not bothered about what others feel. This we can see today, in the local context as well as in the present conflict. We just finished our election thing, and now we can see what's happening in the world. This has happened and is happening in all areas, whether it be in government, corporate, organization, families, personal relationships. See our political system. We expect an equitable governance when the system is run by persons who are not equitable and believe in controlling the rest. So when control is used, the ones being controlled may reciprocate, but without respect and trust. This then is doomed to fail. Relationships suffer badly because our ego cares only about itself. So it's a behavior pattern that is, I am on top. So basically, this follows a behavior pattern of a pyramid with I on top. It's a hierarchical paradigm, which is basically egocentric. I know what is good for you and you follow me. I'm the head of the house, I'm the head of the corporation, I'm head of the country, I'm the head of this and that. If you don't, then I will find ways to manipulate you or punish you if you don't do what I say. This is the style employed. Does it work? You know for yourself it doesn't, and it causes great pain, separations, breakdown in relationships. The sad part is that we feel that this behavior is acceptable because everyone is using it. It has been there for eons. So the only culture I know is domination. They do it in the school, they do it here, they do it there, everywhere it is done. So I think it is the default behavior. I say, my friends, it is not a default behavior. It's not that we can accept this if we are spiritual. It's become so intrinsically a part of our nature that we don't even think twice and say, that's the way it works. So let's see together what is the root of this mindset that wants to control. Our ego is basically helping us to survive. Thanks to our ego, because it helps us to survive. But due to pain in childhood traumas, it overreacts from the pain, from the fear of pain repeating. And therefore, to survive, it tries to project and manipulate everything to feel good by being number one always. So it looks at the past with regret and fear. It then projects this fear into the future. And sadly, a person can get lost between these two, past and the future, which both really don't exist in the present moment. It's an illusion. So one lives in the ego bubble without realizing. So you live on these two aspects. You'd hardly enter the present moment, but you're living in the past and the future. So this bubble is the way you exist and the way you act. But will suffer a lot. You will suffer a lot. And relationships take a big toll when you are not connecting in the present. What we have is only the now. The ego is constructed on the data of a person, like name, surname, religion, caste, sex, finance, etc., etc. Then this then becomes the identity which the ego will fight to uphold. The first question we ask, hi, what's your name? Then we know. Then we say, what's your surname? Then we know the caste. Then we say, where are you from? And then immediately our brain goes to, then we scan the person head to toe to see how he's dressed. And then we make up our mind. And then my behavior changes. Do I give him more respect? Is he worthy for me? Is he worth for me? I can get something out of him. And that's how we all sadly live. So then the present moment where life actually happens, one is disconnected, creating an inadequate response, which is not in sync with reality. People have their own perspective and are right in their understanding. We need to learn and understand them and their perspective. So if we are in the present, quiet, listen with an empty mind, we would be surprised to learn another's point of view. In being present, we do not allow the egoic past or the past projected future to enter and compare. That's what our ego loves to do, compare ideas, thoughts, where I stand. When we are critical, not knowing how to express ourselves, we hurt the other, who then keeps a distance from us. The fact is that we cannot change the other, but we can change ourselves. Many times our change motivates the other to change themselves because they feel validated, that you cared for them enough to change. So first, we start by lovingly accepting ourselves totally as we are, with our traumas, our kinks, our whatever, and the good side and whatever. We accept ourselves. In this acceptance, we also accept our traumas as they have helped us to survive till now. In this loving acceptance of ourselves, we start to see and understand our triggers. Because in self-acceptance, there is no self-hate or guilt in true self-acceptance. Then slowly we realize that we don't need to use this behavior, which is coming from survival. and which is detrimental to ourselves and everyone in relationship, we start to become present. Secondly, we become aware of the egocentric behavior in us and its consequences. And therefore, we also recognize society's ego. And so we make a conscious effort to shift our behaviors from the egocentric pyramid, top down, to invert it. So I go down, invert the pyramid to be other-centered. Again, by doing this process, we again become present. We will slowly see that the presence or living in the present moment becomes more and more. In this presence, our connect with our true selves increases. And we are content, calm, happy, peaceful. We will also connect to the earth and feel the oneness. So let us see together what we can do to deepen our presence in relationships, to respond more adequately. We clarify always, trying to understand better what the other really means, and ask questions, give examples to really understand the other. We watch and see the other's body language, how the person is saying, what is the emotion behind what he's saying or she's saying. As the emotion betrays the truth of how the person feels about it, then we can respond adequately. We respond only when we understand and are on the same page. This does not mean that we compromise, but once we fully understand the other, we offer our idea as a gift, ready to change if required. We take the first step towards the other. Normally, our egos want the other to take the first step. Let her smile. She entered the room later, no, let her smile at me, then I'll smile back. If she comes forward or he comes forward, then I will shake hands. We should always treat the other as we would like to be treated. If I would like to be given a glass of water, when I go somewhere, let me first be able to give a glass of water. If I like somebody to smile at me, I say, then let me smile. It's a simple thing, but it has tremendous ramifications to make us and connect us to the other. We enter the other person's shoes to deeply understand their point of view. So we enter the skin of the person and try to understand why he's saying this, why she's saying this. They are not simply saying this. So I have to enter his situation to understand before passing a comment that could hurt or roughshod the person. Living like this fills your soul with great joy, peace, and contentment. So as we deeply engage the other, we also deeply engage ourselves. We then start to drop the manipulation, false identities. We project and become more authentic as a person. In this process, we also simultaneously heal from our traumas. This is the most beautiful part. And we become more and more empty. This emptiness and silence connects us deeply to the divine and to the divine in the other and in everything around us. Living this way is a deep spiritual journey of going within. Our relationships become our ashram, our retreat center, our guru. Relationships exposes our ego, which comes in the way of becoming one with the other and one with God. So finally, it reaches us to what our heart always is searching for, that is God. How beautiful and precious is relationships. Thank you.
Thank you, Talbot. Thank you for taking us on this beautiful journey where we can truly take a pause and re-look at our relationships and go within deeper to connect better with our close ones and everyone around. This is a small token of appreciation from us. Please accept it. a certificate from the World United. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
So, yes.
Yeah, Talbot, you have given a wonderful talk, and it seems like you have a lot of knowledge about the understanding of psychology related to relationships. And since our main purpose is to, take this knowledge and apply it in society, so we have a wing of the World United, which is called as the Child and Family Development. So when we finish this series of talks, as an action, let us keep that we'll have a Zoom call and we'll discuss how we can take this forward as part of the World United, how we can take this wing forward in Goa, because Goa is our focus right now. And probably it will be a model for the rest of the country also to do this. So let's always set these kind of action points, and I request the moderators also to do that, so that we can make this a fruitful gathering together. Nishika, if you're ready, I can see you're raring to go. So let's start with Nishika. Please introduce person.
Thanks, Floyd.
Nishika, I think you can go ahead. I have already introduced Nishika.
Yeah. Thanks.
Over to you. Thank you.
I'll start by saying what I think about spirituality. To me, spirituality is a very deep, personal journey that I think everyone undertakes. One person's version of spirituality may not be another person's version of spirituality. It could be completely different paths. So essentially, I guess we are all traveling on one highway in different cars, I think. And what I understand by sadhana is the rigor, the discipline, and the practices we undertake to stay on our path, to stay on our life's goals, the reason why we're here. So at least that's my understanding of spirituality and sadhana. I just want to share a few thoughts and a few things about myself and my spiritual practices. Of course, I was born and assigned male at birth, and ever since I was a kid, I've been told that I have to be a certain way, behave a certain way. All these learned behaviors of, doing stuff that what males or boys are supposed to do. But I never felt like that inside. What I'm trying to get at is, from the time we are born, most of us are programmed to be a certain way. We are kind of put into a cauldron of, hey, this is your name, this is your gender, this is your sexuality, this is your religion, these are your practices, this is your caste, this is who you should marry. Everything, almost everything is decided for us. And that's a problem, I feel, because to understand and get a true sense of who you are and embark on that self-discovery, we have to unprogram this. I'm not saying reject, but we have to really see, hey, is this who I really am? Okay, so I think the unprogramming and the recognizing that, we have been put into certain roles, certain masks, we wear certain masks, probably is not really us. I realized this after quite some struggle of, trying to fit into the mold of being a man, being a boy, what society demands of me. And it never worked out. Never worked out. There was always this internal struggle within me of saying, hey, this is not you, this is not you. But yet, to be honest, I let the outside societal, family, friends, forces influence me, right? And the more I let it influence me, the more I would move away from my path. I would move away from my life's goals. And I struggled. I struggled with my work. I struggled with my anxiety, depression, panic attacks. I struggled with money. I struggled with relationships. Uh, Not a very nice scenario. And I realized that, but you know what? I had to go through this struggle to actually find out who I am. It sounds ironic, right? I had to go through this pain uh, to find out who I am. And yeah, it was painful. So, and a lot of these things came to me at certain points. The universe is always giving us signs. For instance, I never went seeking a guru, but a guru came into my life. I took mantra diksha, and I do jap mala. That's the one so-called spiritual thing I only do on a daily basis. I try to, uh, and I guess stuff like that will trigger your inner voice. You start listening to your inner voice, and find out who you really are. And I guess that's when my unprogramming started. Of I started listening more to nature. uh, I learn a lot from my dog, funnily enough, who's always in the present. Yeah, and so I think it's a very individual thing that all of us undertake. I'm sorry, there are a lot of weddings at my place, but am I audible? So what I was saying is that each person, each one of us must undertake this journey, no matter how painful it is, to discover who we are. And I think that really helps you stay on your path. So I remember my Guruji saying this one thing, sadhana ke patte chalo, which means continue with your rigor, continue with your discipline to help you stay on that path. It's not easy. It's not like I do it every day, but I try to do that. I try to stay on that path, and even and life circumstances will present you with obstacles and hurdles and stuff like that. But never ever lose focus. I guess I try to not lose focus from that path. Also, one last thing I want to share is I'm a sports person. Wasn't knows that. So the beautiful thing about sport is you're always in the present. So for example, I play tennis, and if I'm not in the present, the ball is going to come and hit me in my face, right? So I always have to be in that moment, uh, focusing on that particular microsecond of where the ball is traveling. And to me, that sport is a reflection of life also, of staying in the present, I guess, also flowing freely with life. I just share one more incident where I was playing tennis, and I was gripping my tennis racket too hard, and I got tennis elbow. And I was out of the game for 6 to 9 months. I couldn't play. I realized at that time the reason I got tennis elbow and I was gripping my racket too hard was I was trying to control my life. So sport is like a mirror. It'll actually talk to you and tell you what you are in your present life at that point in time. And I needed to let go. I needed to flow freely with life. And ironically, when I play freely, that's when I play the best. So yeah, so that's my sharing for this particular event.
Wow, Nishika, that was amazing. I really loved everything you shared. I really, really loved it. This is a certificate from
Thank
our
you.
end to you.
Thanks.
You are a true inspiration, and the sports angle and the connectivity to being like a dog and the nature. It just, I think it integrates beautifully. And as you said, you have found your purpose of being the beacon of hope, the beacon of love, where others can look up to you and say that, what, I want to be like Nishika. I wanna go ahead and touch more lives, create an impact. So heart full of gratitude. Thank you so much for sharing your time.
Very nice to have you for the first time on the World United. And also, what I'd like to share is that Nishika is quite knowledgeable about social media also, as far as I know. And we have a wing of the World United called as the World United and Media. And as we know, social media and media in general has a lot of things going on. This time we did not have any speakers who spoke about spirituality and media, and we'll not have this time. But definitely in the future session, we would like to talk more about media and the role of spirituality in media. So definitely, Nishika, in the coming weeks, when the iron is hot, when we are all together and warmed up, let's use that, so to say, I think your digital marketing language traction or whatever you call it, let's use that to, discuss what we can do in this direction and how I'm sure your inputs will help us a lot. So, Vasant, and of course, please stay for the panel. We'll have a panel with you, Devansh, and Talbot.
I have noted that, Frank, Floyd. Sorry. Okay, so we have our last speaker for this panel, a dear friend as well, Mr. Devansh. Devansh, you're there. I saw you, so I can't see you on the screen, but I can see you now. So Devansh is an engineer by profession, and he believes that simple living and having a high thinking mind is the way to go ahead. Uh, he's been very proactive. He loves to connect with the society. He's been doing a lot of selfless works where he's doing volunteering uh, in the areas of astronomy, blood donations. I always think of him whenever I need to help someone with blood related stuff. He's always there. He loves robotics, a strong passion for science, and a good heart. He wants to integrate that in his life. So that's really inspiring. And about spirituality, he has to say that he believes, in his own words, he believes that we have got this human life, probably after many lives, and our sole purpose should be to walk on the path of truth. And he truly believes that. So, with that, his today's topic is unconditional love. I welcome you, Devansh, and welcome to the session. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vasan, for giving me this opportunity and also introducing me. Of course, can you hear me now?
Yes, be a little louder. Thank you.
Okay, you can hear me now. I'm slightly out, so there may be some disturbance. So, thank you, Vasan, for introducing me and also giving me this opportunity to speak today. Out of the things that you have said about me is something I try to follow. Of course, I may falter in a lot of things, and all that I say does not define how I may really be as a person, but I try to follow it. And every day, even from now, I try to be as true to what I have, as true to what you have described me as possible. So, with that, I would like to share about my thoughts of unconditional.
Reception. So we'll move on to the panel discussion. Talbot is here, Nishika is here, and
Yes,
definitely you are here to direct the flow. So looking forward to that.
sure. We'll see how to connect with Devansh later. I think we had some amazing points from all the speakers, and let's get into the panel discussion, which is around a central question or central theme, which is how to awaken, understand, and experience unconditional love. How to, I repeat, how to awaken, understand, and experience unconditional love. So I request all the speakers to kind of again bring together your thoughts. You have given some beautiful inputs, but if you can come together and concise it around this topic of unconditional love and share briefly whatever you feel like. Over to you. Thank you.
Can I say something? I think unconditional love starts first and foremost with loving and accepting yourself the way you are. If you don't love and accept yourself the way you are, then I guess it's very difficult to spread that to others and accept love from others. And I guess once we love and accept ourselves the way we are and unconditionally love ourselves, we will attract the right kind of people, the right kind of vibes, the right kind of whatever in our lives, to spread that love. That's what I think.
Very beautifully said. Very beautiful. I have recorded that. Anybody else want to share? Talbot?
I agree with Nishika. Finally, everything is about you and how you experience this unconditional love. The divine has put us here on the planet, loving us fully, and that's why we are existing. But we get disconnected from it because of our childhood traumas, and we are not able to feel it, and we feel we are unworthy. So for me, the whole process of life and existence is that we are all the time being brought, the divine is all the time trying to push me towards realizing who I truly am and to get in touch with that reality. And when I get in touch with who I really am, I understand love, joy, peace, unconditional love within me. Then relationship with everybody else will fall properly in place. Otherwise, it's a mess. I'm feeling hate, but I'm projecting love. It doesn't work. So it's actually a homecoming. The whole process of understanding yourself, your true self, is teaching you that you are loved immensely, and the whole hand of the divine is with you all day, 365 days, 24/7. But it is this process of being able to pick up from the universe what is being said, connecting it deeply and realizing this truth. No, it's only when I realize this that I can flow with it. No?
There's one more point I want to make is in this process of trying to love and accept ourselves the way we are unconditionally, we also have to clean ourselves from past traumas. You know, we have to heal. We have to figure out ways to heal from the past, because that creates a lot of what we call inner children, or we sometimes react to what has happened from the past and past traumas. So healing is also, I guess, a very important part of unconditional love and loving yourself. Yeah. Healing. And the second thing is guilt. A lot of us are living from a perspective of guilt. We've made a mistake, we did something, and then our entire life's basis is based on circling that. We need to forgive ourselves. We are pretty unforgiving of our own selves. So that again kind of makes it difficult to love yourself first. Yeah.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Anybody else who wants to add on anything? People who are online, please feel free to unmute and share.
Yeah, Vasant, since everyone is talking about unconditional love, so one of the things it reminds me about is this work about, unity consciousness, because it is very natural for someone, for his or her survival, to sort of, think of my own needs, like today after the inauguration, immediately we were thinking about food, breakfast. So it is natural that we have to do for our survival. To think about our family and friends also is kind of natural. But to think about the world and think about it in a way, in terms of raising consciousness, or in terms of the whole receiving peace, joy, happiness, whatever you call it, in a positive sense. And this is what we are all doing over here. So that is, I feel that is unconditional love. And I think these We Are One summits, or whatever we are doing at World United, whatever other people are doing, whatever work they are doing on unconditional love, I think that is one day we are devoting for this, thing which is of the collective. Because when there's a war, when there's pain, all of us are affected. All of us feel bad, now what's going to happen? But what the hell are we doing to prevent it in the first place? We are not doing nothing. We never thought about Ukraine and a country like Ukraine before, this thing happened. We never did anything. We never prayed. Since 3 months, the threat was there. Russia was supposed to attack them. What were we doing? We were doing nothing. We were not writing on social media. We were not meditating for them. We were not praying for them. We were not sending healing. Let's be very honest. And now when the topic is trending in the news, you want to say, oh, so sad, this is happening in Russia. This is happening in Ukraine. So it's a very, kind of skewed relationship that we have with unconditional love, that we call. And it's really, I think, a challenge, and it's really a very big thing on the self-development path to develop what is called as unconditional love. And definitely, I think we should keep thinking about this. We should keep reflecting on these things. And Vasant, if there's nothing more to be added, we can take a short break.
Can I add something?
Somebody wants to add something.
Klizma. Am I audible?
Klizma,
Yes,
please
yes.
go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. Just let me spotlight you. Yes. So yes, tell me.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share my understanding of unconditional love. I feel unconditional love comes from a space of soul consciousness and not ego consciousness. The understanding that I'm a soul, and all my experiences and my trauma is not me, but it's a part of this lifetime and my evolution as a soul. That kind of makes us aware and selfless in a way. But the minute I say I love myself unconditionally from my ego space, it becomes very self-centered. So that is what has been my personal understanding of unconditional love. And as many of you all said, that it starts with you, and only then you can fully give it to others and reciprocate the same. Yeah, thank you.
It's very interesting what Klizma you've said. So is there any example with which you can sort of illustrate that? Because I've heard many people saying this, but I never understood it practically, because I'm a very practical person. So I never understood it practically. So is there any example or something from your life which you can share? It will enlighten all our audiences and panel members.
Yes. For example, let me speak about when I was experiencing depression. There are voices in your head, which is again your ego or the condition that you believe I am this, I'm a good dancer, I'm good in academics, I am all these different things people told me I am. And I start believing that. And a point comes that if you don't meet that template, there is this gap which is created, right? And this is a construct of your ego self. That is what you believe, the ego, which is again a conditioning and not really your soul. Now, in that space, if you keep saying, oh, I am good, I am worthy, affirming to yourself without really understanding who you are, which is from a soul conscious space, then you're only creating this sense of, I am this. It's like a, what do you say? You are very egoistic. You're all about yourself, very self-centered. But and you are still doing a lot of things because again you want people to say that you are good, you are worthy, you are coming from all that space. And that was me some years ago, where and that came from my feeling of not feeling good enough. But the minute you become aware that you are not these labels, but these are just an outer facade of who you are, but you are a soul and you want to give what you have or what you are blessed with in terms of talent, resources, ideas, then you are doing the same thing. You are going out in the world, doing your work, but the approach is to help yourself and help others and inspire others and grow together. And that becomes a space of being soul conscious, that you are not just yourself, but we are one. And when others grow, I grow, and when I grow, others grow as well. So it's like a circular chain. Yeah. I hope I was clear and it did make sense.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Prisma.
you,
Thank
Prisma.
you.
Every
Thank
word
you.
that you said, and we are all sharing it in our own ways. Our vocabulary may be different, but we are all sharing the language of love that I truly feel. So
Yeah,
on that
thank you
note,
very much.
on that note, I feel really privileged that I was part of this panel discussion. Thoroughly enjoyed. I've even made notes for myself.